If you're involved in workforce planning, skills development, or local and regional economic development, I need to tell you about a fundamental error that's costing us millions in wasted training investment and leaving critical job openings unfilled. It's the obsession with growth sectors, and it's everywhere. Take Skills England's recent assessment of priority skills to 2030. It's a perfect example of this wrong thinking. Skills England have identified 10 priority sectors and projected 900,000 or 0.9 million additional jobs by 2030. So naturally, they're recommending that we concentrate on investment in skills in digital, adult social care, construction, and engineering sectors, the so-called growth areas. It sounds logical, right? Invest where the growth is. But here's what's wrong with that approach. Labour demand isn't just about what we call net job growth. That's net growth in the economy. It's only half the equation. Total labour demand is the sum of two components. First, expansion demand. That's net employment change. Jobs created minus jobs lost. But second, and this is the bit everyone forgets, replacement demand. That's the need to replace workers leaving the workforce due to retirement, career change, emigration, or other reasons. And here's the critical point. Replacement demand is typically much larger than expansion demand. If you look only at net growth and at growth sectors, you're literally ignoring the majority of actual job openings. Let me show you some real data from the Skills Imperative 2035 projections for the UK. If we look at professional occupations, they're adding 1.5 million jobs through expansion. What about replacement demand? That is at 4.2 million over the 15-year period, nearly 3 times larger than expansion demand. Let's look at skilled trades. Net employment change, negative. It's actually contracting in terms of total jobs. But there's still a massive replacement demand because of the ageing workforce. So the net requirement in skills trades is still high. What about process, plant and machine operatives, a so-called declining occupation? But there's still 900,000 people required from replacement demand. These aren't growth sectors. But if you're a young person entering the workforce, there are hundreds of thousands of job openings in these fields, and replacement demand is a major factor driving these job openings. What do I know? Well, I was writing about this in 2003. That's 22 years ago. It's now 2025. We've known about replacement demand for decades, and we've been able to model it and forecast it from the University of Warwick's Institute for Employment Research forecasting model. Here's where I specifically write about this in the case of Scotland, that, employment demand is a product of growth and replacement demand. So I'm wondering why labour market economists and analysts working for the government today are still making the mistake and thinking that, sector growth means employment growth, means demand for labour. Manufacturing is a perfect example of this blind spot. It's often written off as a declining sector in employment terms due to automation and the application of technology. Total employment is contracting, so skills planners can think, we don't need to invest in manufacturing training any longer. But manufacturing has a seriously ageing workforce in the UK. Replacement demand is enormous. It's projected to be over 1 million between 2020 and 2035 in the UK. The result could be critical skill shortages if we don't get this planning right. If factories can't find skilled technicians, machinists or engineers, it's going to affect the economy. What happens if we would only focus on the growth sectors that Skills England suggests? Well, we're going to get training oversupply in fashionable fields, and this results in too many people chasing too few jobs. We're going to get critical skill shortages in stable or declining sectors that still need millions of workers. We might get a poor return on investment for our skills programs if we are engineering the numbers based solely on growth sectors. And we get frustrated learners who trained for growth sectors but can't find jobs because everyone else had the same idea, including education and training providers and the government. The solution is straightforward. Calculate the net requirement. That's expansion demand plus replacement demand. This is what proper labour market intelligence looks like, and we've known about it for over 20 years. Stop asking which sectors are growing. Start asking, where will the job openings be? They're not the same question. If you found this useful, subscribe and like the YouTube video. If you want more insights on economic development and workforce planning, subscribe to the channel. Look at our website. There's more information at www.economicdevelopment.world.